What if the secret to success was never about luck? What if everything you've been chasing, money, fame, peace, was built on something invisible? An old story of a village in which a young man named Adam lived. People in that village spoke often about success, luck, and fate. But Adam was the one who could never find any of it. Every day he sat in the corner of his small room staring at the glowing screen of his phone. Swipe after swipe, he saw faces full of smiles, people standing beside cars, new houses, fame, and money. Each picture hit him like a silent punch. He felt his chest grow tight and heavy. He whispered to himself, "Why not me? What am I missing?" He was tired of watching others rise while he stayed in the same place. He had tried many things before, but each time he quit after a few days. He said he wanted success, but deep down, he was afraid of the work it would take. He waited for luck, a miracle, something easy, but nothing came. One hot afternoon after another failed job interview, Adam walked down the narrow road that cut through the heart of the village. Dust rose with every step he took. As he turned the corner, he saw an old man sweeping the street. The man's back was bent, his clothes simple, yet his eyes calm and full of peace. Adam stopped and asked, "Why do you work so hard every day when no one even notices?" The old man smiled and said, "Everyone wants success, but no one wants the silence it takes to build it." Adam did not understand. He gave a small laugh and walked away. But those words stuck in his mind like a seed waiting to grow. That night, he lay awake on his bed staring at the ceiling. Silence. Build it. What did that even mean? He thought about his own life. Every time things got hard, he ran away. Every time it got quiet, he lost focus. Maybe the problem was not the world. Maybe it was him. He looked around his room. Posters of famous people hung on his wall. Faces of success, quotes of motivation. But he had never followed their path. He wanted the result, not the journey. He wanted the reward without patience. The truth hit him hard. Maybe the secret to success was never hidden. Maybe he had ignored it all along. The next morning, Adam woke before sunrise. The village was silent. He sat on his bed, whispered to himself, "I will find out what that old man meant." He turned off his phone, opened a small notebook, and wrote one line, "I will change my habits." It was a small start, but it felt powerful. That day he worked on his job applications again, this time with focus. He watched real stories of people who began from nothing. He read about Thomas Edison, who failed 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. He learned that success was not about luck. It was about discipline, patience, and endless effort. Still, a part of him feared failing again. The voice of doubt whispered inside his head. But then he remembered the old man's calm face. Peaceful, strong, silent. Adam took a deep breath. "I will not run this time," he said. "I will build in silence, even if no one sees me." Outside, the sun rose slowly over the quiet village, lighting the dusty road. Inside that small room, another kind of light was born, a fire inside Adam's heart. The secret no one told him was about to change his life forever. Days turned into weeks, and Adam tried to follow his promise. Every morning he woke up early, cleaned his room, and spent an hour reading about people who worked hard for their dreams. He learned about J.K. Rowling, who kept writing her story even after many rejections. He read about Elon Musk, who failed again and again before his success. Each story gave him strength. He started to believe that maybe success was not for a few special people. Maybe it was for those who never gave up. But real change was not easy. Adam's old habits kept pulling him back. His phone kept calling him. Social media, games, and endless scrolling tried to take his focus. Some mornings he wanted to sleep longer. Some nights he felt tired of waiting for results. His mind asked, what if nothing changes? What if all this effort means nothing? His friends noticed his new routine and began to laugh. They said, "You are wasting your time. You should relax." No one gets success by reading old stories. Adam smiled and said nothing, but inside he felt hurt. He missed the days when they supported him. Now they called him strange for working in silence. One evening, after a long day of searching for work, Adam sat alone on a park bench. The air was cold, and his heart felt heavy. He had sent dozens of job applications, but no one replied. He started to doubt everything again. The world seemed too big, and he felt too small. Then a little boy ran past him holding a kite. The kite fell to the ground, and the boy tried again and again to make it fly. He fell twice, but stood up each time. Adam watched quietly. The boy laughed every time the kite went higher. In that small moment, something clicked inside Adam's heart. He realized that success was just like that kite. It only flies after many falls. He stood up and said softly, "I will not stop. Not this time." He went home, made a list of goals, and started working harder. He cut his distractions. He kept his phone away while studying. He stopped checking other people's lives and focused on his own. His days became simple and quiet. No one noticed what he was doing, but he felt something growing inside him. One night, while writing in his notebook, Adam saw a quote from Thomas Edison that said, "Many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up." The words hit him deep. He felt like they were written just for him. He closed the notebook, took a deep breath, and said, "I will keep going until I see the result." The next morning, he opened his email inbox as usual. There was a new message waiting at the top. The sender's name made his hands tremble. Adam stared at the email for a long time. His heart was beating fast. It was from a company he had applied to weeks ago. They wanted him to come for an interview. For the first time in months, he felt hope rise inside him. He smiled and whispered to himself, "This is my chance." He spent the next few days preparing. He practiced answers in front of the mirror, studied the company, and even borrowed a clean shirt from his neighbor. On the morning of the interview, Adam woke before sunrise. He looked in the mirror and tried to hide his fear. His reflection looked nervous, but he said to himself, "I can do this." The bus ride to the city felt long. Every turn, every stop made his hands shake a little more. When he reached the building, he saw people in suits walking fast, holding files and talking confidently. He felt small again, but he pushed himself forward. Inside the office, he waited for his turn. He looked around at the other candidates. They looked more experienced, more confident. For a moment, he wanted to run away. Then he remembered the old street cleaner's words. Everyone wants success, but no one wants the silence it takes to build it. He took a deep breath and decided to stay. When his name was called, Adam walked in slowly. The manager asked him questions about his work and skills. At first, his voice trembled, but soon he found his rhythm. He spoke honestly and shared his story of learning and growth. The manager listened without expression, which made Adam unsure. After 30 minutes, the interview ended. The manager said, "We will contact you soon." That evening, Adam waited near his phone. Hours passed, then days. No call came. His heart grew heavy again. He had hoped this time would be different. A week later, he received an email from the company. It said, "We appreciate your time, but we have selected another candidate." Adam felt his chest tighten. He had tried so hard, and still, he failed. He walked outside in the rain. The city lights blurred behind the drops of water on his face. He sat on a bench near the road, completely silent. For a moment, he thought about giving up again. The world felt cold and unfair. Then a memory came to him. The boy with the kite. The old man with the broom. He remembered how they kept trying no matter what. Adam looked up at the dark sky and whispered, "I will not stop here. I will find another way." He wiped his face, stood up, and started walking home. When he reached his door, he noticed something unusual. There was an envelope under the mat with his name written on it. He bent down, picked it up, and felt a strange feeling in his chest as he slowly opened it. Adam held the envelope in his hands. His fingers shook. Inside there was a letter from a small client who had noticed his work online. They offered him a freelance project. It was not a big opportunity, but it was a start. He felt a spark of hope he had not felt in months. He sat down and planned carefully. He would give his best effort and prove that he could succeed. He worked every day, Early mornings, late nights, and even during lunch breaks, Adam focused on the project. He sent updates to the client and learned from their feedback. Slowly, he saw his work improve. The client noticed and praised him. The small project turned into a bigger one. Adam felt the weight of his past failures slowly lifting. Weeks later, he received an unexpected call. It was the same company that had rejected him before. They had seen his progress and wanted to offer him a position. Adam's heart raced. The same office, the same manager, but now they were interested in him. He felt nervous, but he remembered all the hard work he had done in silence. On the first day at the office, Adam walked in quietly. He did not show fear or doubt. He focused on his tasks and worked harder than anyone. Every small success added to his confidence. People began to notice. His manager called him to meetings and asked for his ideas. Adam's voice, once soft and unsure, became firm and confident. Outside of work, he kept learning and improving. He read about famous people like Oprah Winfrey, who had faced countless rejections but never stopped. He learned that discipline and persistence mattered more than talent or luck. He started helping others, sharing his story with young people who felt lost and stuck like he once had. One day, a new opportunity came. A client from another city wanted to hire him for a larger project. Adam prepared carefully and worked with focus. This time, everything went perfectly. The project was successful, and he earned respect and recognition. He realized that all his struggles, all the moments of doubt, had prepared him for this moment. Even with this success, Adam stayed humble. He remembered the boy with the kite, the old man on the street, and all the days he had spent in silence, working when no one was watching. He knew that this was just the beginning. That evening, as he returned home, his phone rang. It was an unknown number. A voice on the other end said, "We have been watching your work. We have a project that could change your life forever." Adam paused, his heart racing. He knew this opportunity could be bigger than anything he had ever done before. He looked out of the window at the city lights. The future felt both exciting and dangerous. Could he handle it? He swallowed hard and said quietly, "I will try." The line went silent, and Adam felt a mixture of fear and hope. He had no idea that the next step would test everything he had learned so far. Adam stepped into the new office building. It was bigger than any place he had worked before. The project was important, and the people around him looked serious and experienced. At first, he felt nervous. He had never faced something this big, but he remembered everything he had learned. He remembered his early mornings, his failures, the silent hours of work, and the boy with the kite. He took a deep breath and focused. The work was hard. Every day brought new challenges. Deadlines were tight, and expectations were high. Adam made mistakes, but he corrected them quickly. He stayed disciplined, learning more each day. His confidence grew as he saw his efforts paying off. The team started to trust him. His ideas were used, and his suggestions made real changes. Adam felt proud, not of the money or the recognition, but of who he was becoming. He often thought about the road that led him here. He remembered the times he wanted to quit, the days when the world seemed against him, and the nights he spent alone in silence. All those moments had shaped him. He realized the secret no one told him was not about finding success easily. It was about becoming strong enough to handle it. Weeks passed, and the project grew bigger than anyone had expected. Adam's work caught the attention of the company leaders. They offered him a permanent position with more responsibility. He felt the weight of his journey. From a young man who was lost and doubtful to someone trusted with important work, Adam had changed. He smiled quietly, thinking about how far he had come. One evening after finishing his work, Adam walked outside. The sky was dark, but the city lights shone bright. He thought about the lessons he had learned. He understood that discipline, patience, and hard work were more powerful than luck or talent. He also realized that failure was not the enemy. Quitting was. He wanted to share this with everyone who felt lost like he once did. Adam decided to mentor young people who struggled with failure and doubt. He shared his story honestly, telling them that success was built in silence, step by step. Many started listening to him. They began working harder and believing in themselves. Adam felt a deep satisfaction. He knew his life was no longer just about him. It was about inspiring others to never give up. One night after a long day, Adam received an unexpected message on his phone. It was from an international company he had admired for years. They said, "We have been watching your growth. We want to discuss an opportunity that could take your career to a new level." Adam's heart raced. This could be the biggest challenge of his life. He looked out at the city lights, thinking about everything that led him here. The thought of this new opportunity filled him with both fear and excitement. He pressed a button to call back, but before he spoke, a sudden knock came at his door. He froze, unsure who it could be.